5. You will never get what you want until you are grateful for what you have. 6. Sometimes what you're trying to hold on to is exactly what you should let go of. 7. If you want to buy things without looking at the price, work without looking at the clock. 8. God puts people in your life for a reason and removes them from your life for a better reason. 9. The devil wouldn't be attacking you so hard if there wasn't something valuable in you. Thieves don't break into empty houses. 10. You're going to set a lot of people off when you start doing what's best for you. 11. You will lose a lot of friends when you get really serious about your life goals. 12. Life does not get easier, you just get stronger.
Duke of Earl on WAVS Radio. It's not about having a class, it's about having a talk. A conversation with you about the issues affecting the nation, trying to find a solution. Come and join the conversation with Duke on Mondays and Wednesdays with exposure from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and Hot Talk on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. The Duke of Earl is the talk show host that seeks to find the solution so that we can have a better nation. Come, talk with him.
Just about 15 minutes in the right side of 8 o'clock. As usual, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Who shall I fear? Strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Who God bless, no one curse. The gift of God is eternal life. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good day. It is what you call Hot Talk. Don't forget to call your friend and relative and tell them to tune in. WVS Radio 1170 AM 107.9 FM. And if you miss it, you can go to YouTube and just type in the Duke of Earl and you will find the program there. All right? Stick and stay with me. As usual, special one to our soldiers. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, Lady Savannah. Good night. Those from Haiti, Dominica, Bahamas, Colombia. Wherever you might be from, welcome. Those in the hospital district, as usual, good night to you. Lady Night, Princess K, Damon, Saran, and the crew, good night to you. Those in the prisons department, when you get out, don't get back in. Tony Marshall, Blossom, C-Rye, Dave, Brucey, Pampat, Lorraine, Charmaine, K&B, Beaver, Derek, and Denny's. Good night to you, Mr. Sheila and Carl. Big Man Michael, also to Christopher Robinson. Good night to you, take it easy. Tell me be good night to you too, all right? Don't forget to check out Broward Meat and Fish for location. Margate, Lauderdale Lake, and Pembroke Pines. Buy one, get one free, weekly special and daily special. Check out Broward Meat and Fish, and if you can't find what you're looking for, tell them the Duke of Russell to find it for you. So that's Broward Meat and Fish for location. Walker's Barbershop, located at 6941 West Commercial Boulevard, the corner of 70th and Commercial. And don't forget, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are special day for both juniors and elders. All you got to do is call them at 954-960-5964. 954-960-5964. Tell them the Duke of Earl, give it information. And don't forget, just $10, but you got to tip them. Oxford, Sheldon, Big Mark, or Rastaman, Punk, and Punky. Ping Pong, the Artless Human, Curry Jerk Chicken, Oxtail, Escovitz Fish. Call him at 305-777-1106. That's 305-777-1106. Up. Again, I wanted to say belated happy birthday to the big man, Ping Pong. Buying or selling, leasing a house or commercial building. Check out Kimali Lee, 954-382. 589-3862. Tell him the Duke of Earl, give you information. Don't forget the Duke of Earl homecoming. 5 days and 4 nights, all inclusive to Sandals. That's Royal. That's Sandals Royal Caribbean and Offshore Island in Montego Bay, September 11th to the 15th, 5 days and 4 nights. For just $1,700, call 1-800-327-1991, option 4. And if you miss 2781, try 2794. That's 2794 and tell them the Duke of Earl give you the information. All right? So make sure you check them out and be a part of it. And don't forget, we have our party cruise as usual. It's a big deal there. We cruise off the coast of Montego Bay. So make sure you call and make your reservation. Any problem, you call me at 954-336-6223. And don't forget, Aiding AIDS present Humanity 2025, celebrating Women History Month. Art with visual artist Andy Ballantyne. That's March 22nd, 2025 from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and reception at 2 p.m. Don't forget, March 21st, 2025, private viewing appointment only to be held at Southwest Regional Library, 16835 Sheridan Street in Pembroke Pines. And for more information, call Winston Robinson Green at 954-249-5075. That's Aiding AIDS Present Humanity 2025, celebrating Women History Month exhibition. And don't forget, visual artist Andy Ballantyne will be there. Don't forget the 22nd, the 22nd, from 10 until 5 p.m. and reception at 2 o'clock. And then March 21st, private viewing. And don't forget, appointment only. So call Winston Robinson Green, 954-249-5075. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful night. Take it easy. What's on your mind tonight? So much things is happening, huh? Every day something, new things happening. So make sure you pay attention. And there's some new things coming up too. And you know when I get them, I got to make sure I pass them off to you. I hope you are aware that there is a bill before the House here in Florida where they're trying to pass where motor vehicle will be wearing two license plates, one to the front, one to the back. They are trying to get it passed to wear two license plates, just like Jamaica, one to the back, one to the front. That's the new thing that they are bringing up, that motor vehicle carry two plates, one to the front, one to the back. We normally here only carry one license plate, one to the back and nothing else. But now they're trying to get two license plates, one to the front, one to the back. So look out for those changes coming up. And remember I told you that a couple of days ago, I said Jamaica will respond, but not as we expect, because they are going to use diplomacy. And that's what they do. The Foreign Affairs Minister went out and she spoke out. And she tell you exactly what the government of Jamaica intend to do. Nothing that we can say anything in defiant or say take away their visa. As I say, because of where we stand and the way that we operate in Jamaica, or politicians operate, is that they are not going to go out there and knock the wall down with a bulldozer. What they do, they are very diplomatic, and they go around a situation where they will say, this is how we do it. And, a lot of people call me and said, well, then, they are too quiet. But you understand that Jamaica is a different country from other islands because of the things we do, how we do it, and why we do it. And they are very, very smart. They are very smart. So I want to see if I can find it here and give you the piece of Kamina Johnson Smith, how she says. This is how she says.
Morning, Wache.
I don't
Shortly Angus.
I don't. That's not the one. That's not the one. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is it. Let me see if this is it. Yes, I think this is it.
There are one or two things which we have reviewed in the context of our labor practices, because in the same context that we say we're friends and we value the medical program, we also believe in good labor practices, and we have our own labor programs. So we have taken the stance of reviewing the opportunity to review that is created by the fact that we're in a renegotiation in any event. And we think that the adjustments which are to be made will inure to the benefit of the program and to the workers. And we are confident that our program is a legitimate bilateral cooperation program which shouldn't cause any concern in respect of trafficking or exploitation. This is a bilateral cooperation agreement, so it's inherently confidential. So all I would broadly share without getting into the details is to say that we are adjusting the way in which payments are administered, and we are also looking at the ways in which travel documents are managed. I can give those broad headings, but I would simply say that the adjustments which would be made are, I think, positive and to the benefit of all. The Cuban side is open, and as I said, the practices will align with our Jamaican labor practices. The payments, I think Minister Tufton has already said, shared that the terms are aligned with our payments to our government workers so that there's absolutely no exploitation. They take it in good faith in the same way that, there are specific issues. As I said, the matter hasn't been discussed in an adversarial way at all. So having shared information about how the program is managed, they are able to see too that it is legitimately managed and that the areas of concern are being addressed. So we really are quite confident that our process is a productive one. It is not a bombastic one, but it is one that is geared to deliver a positive outcome in the best interest of the participants in the program and the operators of the program, being both Jamaica and Cuba. We believe that we have managed matters in a way that are in the best interest of the Jamaican people. And while we recognize that, every sovereign government has the ability to take decisions on visas and without reason, this is across the piece, we have no reason to believe that there is any such sanction contemplated for us at this time. So Jamaicans can rest assured, if that is their concern, that they should be fine, the workers should be fine, and the program on which we rely for solid and caring medical practitioners is in place and is safe and will only be improved from the work that we're undertaking now with the Ministry of Health.
So you see how we in Jamaica do it, because as I say it to a lot of people, they will not pull Jamaica will not pull the bull by the horn. Don't expect Jamaica to do it. When I leave here, I think it was Tuesday night, a lot of people called me and said, well, you're right, And so this is how, because of where we stand and how we move and how we do things, that is how Jamaica stay. Different from Miss Motley.
This matter with the Cubans and the nurses should tell us everything that we need to know. Barbados does not currently have Cuban medical staff or Cuban nurses, but I will be the first to go to the line and to tell you that we could not get through the pandemic without the Cuban nurses and the Cuban doctors. I will also be the first to tell you that we paid them the same thing that we pay Bajans, and that the notion, as was peddled not just by this government in the US, but the previous government, that we were involved in human trafficking by engaging with the Cuban nurses was fully repudiated and rejected by us. Now, I don't believe that we have to shout across the seas, but I am prepared, like others in this region, that if we cannot reach a sensible agreement on this matter, then if the cost of it is the loss of my visa to the US, then so be it. But what matters to us is principles. And I have said over and over that principles only mean something when it is inconvenient to stand by it. Now, we don't have to shout. But we can be resolute. And I therefore look forward to standing with my CARICOM brothers. I wish I could say brothers and sisters, but brothers, to be able to ensure that we explain that what the Cubans have been able to do for us, far from approximating itself to human trafficking, has been to save lives and limbs and sight for many a Caribbean person.
That's how Prime Minister Barbados, Mayor Matley, did it. So that's a different way she did it. Listen, Mr. Ralph Gonzalez. No.
The Secretary of State of the United States of America has issued a statement that countries which are complicit, in his words, with trafficking in persons and exploiting Cuban professionals, the doctors and engineers who come, that those who are complicit would lose their passport, they lose their visas and their families. Now, I know we're not involved in any exploitation of Cuban workers. And I know that the Cubans are not involved either, the Cuban government. I know the arrangements. And I believe that the Secretary of State is a good and decent man. And if he knows the facts, I'm sure that he will understand that we are not involved in that. If it is determined that you have to take away my visa and Eloise's visa, I want to say this publicly. It could be reported. I'm not looking for a fight with anybody, but we have to be honest and open. The hemodialysis which we do in St. Vincent at the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center with these 60 persons, without the Cubans there, I will not be able to offer that service. So, does anybody expect that I, to go because I want to keep a visa, that I would let 60 persons from the poor and working people to die? It will never happen.
That's Mr. Ralph Gonzalez. And today, there was a bulletin sent out by Canada, the Minister Charlie Angus. So you see, Jamaica approach it in a different style. A style that they can work with. Sometimes we can pull the bull by the horn. You have to be diplomatic. Be diplomatic. Listen to the Canadian today, Mr. Angus.
There are one or two things which we have reviewed in the...
That's not it. Let me get it. This is...
Morning, Wache. Charlie Angus, honored to be here on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Nation. Over the last 3 months, our nation has faced an unprecedented threat from our nearest neighbor. A threat to our borders, a threat to our sovereignty, a threat to our very right to exist as an independent democratic nation. Donald Trump thought we were going to be an easy mark, that we'd be a pushover. Oh, how wrong he was. And now Canada standing up to him has made Canada the front line in the defense against the MAGA ideology. So no wonder Donald Trump and MAGA are feeling pretty angry at Canada. But what concerns me is the targeting of Canadian citizens who are crossing the border to work or to visit. We have seen too many stories of citizens being pulled out of airport lines and being fingerprinted and deported as though they were criminals. Citizens being kidnapped through illegal detention by ICE. And it's not just Canadians. We see the attack on backpackers, students, doctors, professors. I am here today to say to Canadians to avoid travel to the United States if at all possible, and to call our government to stand up for our Canadian citizens who are being denied their rights by arbitrary detention in the United States today. Canada must stand up for our citizens and for the rule of law. Because what we're seeing, for example, with cops pulling over the folk duo Cassie and Maggie to harass them for being Canadian is not the actions of a democratic nation. People whose phones are being seized and searched for any kind of incriminating evidence that they're somehow progressive or woke, that's not the actions of a democratic nation. That is the creep of totalitarianism. That is the creep of fascism, and we need to call that out, because that is not what happens in a nation governed by the rule of law. It's been pretty clear that what Donald Trump and the MAGA ideology are focused on is the politics of fear, of keeping their people disoriented and frightened of the border, frightened of their neighbors. And to make that possible, it's become clear that Donald Trump is willing to drive his nation's economy into chaos, to rip up the biggest and best trading partnership in the world, to drive the U.S. travel industry into the ground. Last month alone, there were 500,000 less visits to the United States because Canadians are not going to go to hostile territory. And so what do the stories of arbitrary detention and arrest and throwing young women into freezing cells, handcuffed, send? It sends that the United States does not want to be involved in the world economy anymore. And what we're seeing is that Donald Trump is trying to break the incredible bonds that exist in all our border communities, the bonds that have existed between Americans and Canadians for years, for generations, the deep friendships that we have. He's trying to make us the enemy of the American people. Well, Canada is not the enemy of the American people, but we are the enemy of fascism, and we are the enemy of the Donald Trump ideology. Canada is showing the world what it means to stand up. And ordinary Canadians are in the lead in this fight. And I'm super proud to call myself Canadian at this time. But it is vital that our leaders join this fight with us, that our leaders call out the arbitrary detentions and the denial of rights of citizens, not just Canadian citizens, but all citizens. Because we know if he can get away with this, there's no reason that a Canadian or German or someone from the UK isn't going to be picked up and deported to some El Salvadorian concentration camp, because that is what's happening in the United States with the complete abdication of the rule of law. Canada is a country of the rule of law. Canada is a country of democracy. Canada must stand firm at this time. I urge people not to travel to the United States, but to keep the boycott, to keep strong, because Canada will never kiss that gangster's ring. We are true, we are north, we are strong, we are free, we will not bend, and we will not give an inch. Take any questions.
Duke of Earl on WAVS Radio. It's not about having a class, it's about having a talk. A conversation with you about the issues affecting the nation, trying to find a solution. Come and join the conversation with Duke on Mondays and Wednesdays with Exposure from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and Hot Talk on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. The Duke of Earl is the talk show host that seeks to find the solution so that we can have a better nation. Come, talk with them.
Just about 8:37. So you see the difference, what the difference with how Jamaica do their things. You see, you have to understand, we have to dialogue, sit down and discuss things when something is wrong. You don't have to fight, muscle anybody, curse anybody. Amicable agreement. They said, listen, this is how it works, and we do it. And some people believe in fighting. It don't help. Sometimes there's peace. You have to make peace and discuss issues amicable. Deal with it. Especially we back, as I say, back in Jamaica. You and I know that Jamaica tourism is our major resources. We have to sit down around a table and say, listen, this is how it goes. And I know United States put out bulletin in Jamaica that hospital problem and crime and this. So they know, because their citizens go to Jamaica every second of the day. So they have to sit down and say, well then, you complain about hospital situation there. Don't know we have nurses, we have doctors that can take care of these things. And this is why, because we in Jamaica is short staff. As such, we have to have doctors, nurses, teachers to help us in all aspects. And this is what we pay them. We pay them just like we pay our Jamaican teachers. This is how you stretch across the aisle and discuss things, talk it, discuss it, come to an amicable agreement without throwing a stone. And so many people think that Jamaica remain too soft. No, it's not soft. Dialogue is the answer. Because you and I know we have so much hotels, a lot of investment. United States is our major supporter when it comes to anything, food, etc. So we have to just live as one. We can't fight or fuss. We don't have that energy to lose. The energy that we have is peace and love. That we can talk, get it done without any quarrel. Because sometimes you quarrel and the quarrel you have just turn to war. Remember, Jamaica suffer from the influx of illegal guns into the country, drugs into the country. And this is the same country that helped us with ships to get rid of the drugs coming in and also to capture some of the guns. Although it's still happening. So we have to talk. So for those people who think Jamaica is too soft, it's not too soft. Diplomacy is the word. We come together, discuss it, talk it, and rectify it instead of fighting. So for those people who knocking me that we mustn't argue about it. We have to. We don't have the luxury or the bottom to sit on to fight. We don't have it. We can't afford that to happen. Because remember what happened in the 70s. And we don't want that to repeat. All of we have to just sit back and discuss it and get it going. Anyway, 954-792-1170, 305-940-1170. We need people who understand the chemistry, who know the history, who understand what is happening to really say, well then, this is it. But some people, especially the elders, middle age, don't believe that we can sit down and discuss it. I strongly believe that is the best way out. I don't know about you. I don't know about you or you. But I know that's how we have to sit down and discuss our problem without fighting. 954-792-1170, 305-940-1170. Hot talk, good night.
Yes, brother Duke.
Yes, man.
Hey, well gone. Good though. So far,
yes.
because, we follow up a little bit of the thing. Not a little bit, a lot. But when the Prime Minister of Jamaica said towards, what statement him said so far?
The Prime Minister not going to say nothing. Because Kamina Johnson-Smith, as I said before, is a Foreign Affairs Ministry. So when she finished doing her investigation with the government of the United States and Cuba, then she will go to the Prime Minister and say, Mr. Prime Minister, this is what I come up with. This is how we're going to settle it. This is how it goes. We go through protocol. We have to go through a line. You understand me?
Yeah, but that's true too. But, well, all right, the other thing is, the visa thing. Whose visa was going to be taken away? Is the Prime Minister or you talk about local Jamaicans? Just want to know.
I don't know, but it can stretch from local Jamaican right back to the Prime Minister.
I think mostly is the biggest, like Prime Minister. I from what I
Number
understand.
one, that's a
it
number
is-
one.
is there.
They can say no visa for Jamaica for the rest of the
But
year.
I wouldn't think it will entire Jamaica. But let's deal with the Prime Minister because I think that's who them are talking about.
No,
And-
hold on. When them blockade a country, you know, is that the Prime Minister alone?
All
It's
right.
the
Well,
entire
I
nation.
know comment on it. It can be still. But how heavily Jamaica depends on these Cubans? Because I'm not a big fan of them.
How long-
Cubans,
how-
to be
how
honest.
what?
How
How-
heavily we depend on them medical wise.
I would say 50%.
So therefore, if we really heavily depend on them like that, so you're telling me that no, people should lay down in a hospital bed and suffer and dead just because of America said we can't get medical assistance from such countries.
They did not say they did not say can't get medical assistance. You know. It's about how the money is paid and who's getting the money.
All right.
So-
that me of course to know.
So the government now will look into it and sit down and have a dialogue with the man in Secretary of State and say, listen me.
But
this is
just
how-
like how the other guy said, from Barbados, they said them get paid normally like I think it's the same thing. I
same
would
thing with
figure
them pay
the same
Guyanese
thing.
and
Right, the
yes,
same thing Jamaica
Agent.
would pay. But the problem is where Marco Rubio, because you know him a Cuban, and you know say the problem where him out is like the payment. Him feel like when a Cuban doctor gets paid, it not go directly to them. It go percentage wise go to the Cuban government.
Yes, that's what any communist country, that's how them say it goes.
But go back on this now. It's all right. These guys in Cuba, doctors, nurses, and whatever, they go to school over there. They get tuition. They get everything basically. I would say for free. They not pay for medical, and they not pay for nothing. Them get education and everything free, right? Let me also you a point where me I get to. Them get that for free. You remember just the other day, Joe Biden just want to do away with student loan because of the suffering where a lot of students go through.
Yes.
I'm going to make a long story short. Here in America is the same thing. Just because the government in Cuba want to take a percentage from the pay that the doctor gets based on your education that you get from the government is the same thing here. You know how many people here paying student loan for 20, 30 years? And it's the same thing. You have to pay back the government here the money. Whenever time you go to school and you get a student loan, you have to pay it back. So what's the difference if the Cuban government say, listen, me send you go to school and you go so and you make it twice, you take a percentage you pay. It's no different than what they do here.
But if you understand the difference between Cuba and other islands, it's a difference there, you know. It's a difference between Cuba, Jamaica, Barbados, St. Lucia. And you know the difference, you know. You know the difference.
Well, this threat is going out to the whole Caribbean.
But do you know the difference? Do you know the difference?
I don't think there's no difference there.
There's a lot of,
that's why I said the Prime Minister in Jamaica never saying anything
All right,
yet.
let me give you the difference. It is known around the world that Cuba is a communist country.
Yes,
and as
man,
such,
right.
so Jamaica is a free world. America is another free world, don't it? You say that?
Yes, yes,
All right.
yeah.
So they are
Worldwide,
saying
yeah.
that is what I read is saying that they are building up the money is being built up for the military and stuff like that. So they don't want it to go that way. That's what they are
To
saying.
Cuba, in Cuba, right.
Yes. So they are
Right.
saying to the government, don't get no money across there. And if you know, this is what they are clamping down. Remember, no money they don't want. Remember, Cuba have been going through some blackout over the past couple of
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing they're trying because they figure the Cuban government will get a cut or get, but I don't know the percentage, how much it is coming out.
So
but
that
yeah.
is it.
But
So that
they figure-
different thing. That different thing.
Yeah, they're getting the money or type, but it's the same thing here, Duke. You know how much people are suffering right now? When me talk about professional people, doctors, nurses, who have to pay back heavily. Down to Obama, the other day, him said him just finished pay back his student loan. Him said it out loud and clear how much student loan him have to pay back. And a lot of these people working for 20 years, 30 years, big professionals, just to pay back student loan.
But you get
So-
but you learn a trade, you get a profession.
Then the same thing with the Cubans too. The government give them a profession, give them a trade. Them not pay no tuition, they not pay no student loan. So if you remember Jamaica did have this thing, I don't know if they still have it, that a doctor and nurse, when they graduate in Jamaica, they have to do at least 4. But I don't know my exactly how
Yes,
many years.
you have to do about 2 years in Jamaica, but a lot of people run away. They don't do anything.
Right, a lot of
Yes.
people run around and do it. But so it's not no big difference. But what me I say now, the Jamaica government is say, all right, you got to say something. If America tell you that, okay, you can't do this Cuban doctor, we are going to demand you then to send your doctor come down and come work then. But
And that is why you touch it. No, you touch it. Diplomacy. Diplomacy. Go back.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. You see, that's exactly we right back around, straight back to diplomacy. You sit down and you discuss it, and they say they can do something. Okay, we will send you doctors. That is exactly it. That is exactly. And Jamaica have doctors from India too. That is exactly what we're talking about. And we're hoping that if anything should come that it will hurt Jamaica, that we have some doctors and nurses here will say, all right, let me go back home to Jamaica. Let me see if we can get a good job in Jamaica. Pay me X amount. Pay me what I'm getting here. And I will go back home. Find me a place to live. And Jamaica can now say, all right, we are forced to do what the government say. So I'm asking Jamaicans to come home and help. Come and be our nurse, our doctor. How many of us will ever go? That's another point about it. This is what I'm saying. Diplomacy. You just sit down and discuss and end it out. And it will happen, as the foreign affairs minister said. It will come out to the detriment where they will settle it. You can't talk. You can't pull the bull by the horn, as I said before. This is how we have to work together, get it done. Karen Miller, good night to you. Joan Adams, good night. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Understand me? And I know a lot of people love the quarrel, you know. A lot of people love the quarrel, them like the fight. Talk about it. Talk about it. Jamaica going to need a lot of nurses. Jamaica going to need a lot of nurses. A lot of nurses to help with the situation that is happening there. And as I say before, I hope you find some Jamaican who will say we're ready to go back home and work with the system. And some teachers, especially those who run away and don't pay back them school, them loan that them take out. Because, you know, a lot of them are here. And this is why the government of Jamaica signed some agreement with the United States. So when you catch them, just send them back home to us. And people will say it's a wicked act, don't it? People say it's a wicked act. But no, it's not a wicked act. You get a student loan. You get a profession. Do your 2 years and pay back your dues. But let us get the loan and we just run away when we complete. And that is the problem. That's what I call the brain drain. Nurses, teachers, doctors. That's how it goes. So we hope that people will find it within their soul that we can go back and make our contribution because we think it will be right for us to do so. Many of us here should be patriotic to think about it and do what we have to do and help our country because a lot of us get help. It might not be what you might expect, but you do get help. There's no joke about it. A lot of us get help. A lot of people walk out with them degree, come to this country and making it and still refuse to go back and make their contribution. And I know we have a lot of nurses here, RN, LPN, OMLTAID, lot of all, and I will say thousands. Teachers the same way. I know of a particular school right now, so far I booked about 3 to 4 Jamaican teachers there. Yeah, about 4 Jamaican teachers are in that school. And it's a big school. Yeah. So we hope that our people will find the good in themselves. I have spent some time here, and I think I should make some contribution for the upliftment of my country. Isaiah Spence, good night to you. I hope we can find it within our heart to go back and spend some time. I have a lot of young people should be serving in the military, in the police force too. Help them out. You know what I noticed now? A lot of women becoming police officers, firefighters, in Jamaica, soldiers, whole lot of young people. There's a complete change. You have a lot of Jamaican firefighters, women, driving the trucks and out in the fires. Soldiers driving the lorries, carrying the big gun. The police force, the same thing. So our women now has changed. They have been working. So I hope we'll find more patriotic Jamaicans who will say, yes, like myself, who has done over 26 years of my young life serving my country. Be patriotic. Until tomorrow night, may the good Lord bless and keep you. And remember this song I'm going to play now. It's all my friend, Tony Marshall and the crew. Isaiah, good night to you again. John Adam. You have a wonderful night. Let's stand by for some music coming up. So here I go. This is the one I have for you.
Yeah, you know, right, you know, we're future look, you know. Everybody are rapping on teeth and everybody a bad mind. But the one thing me I tell you, say, listen, righteousness. Blessed is the man walketh not in ungodly counsel. Blessed is the man who put his trust in the Lord God Almighty. Blessed is the man who live not for wealth and vanity. Blessed is that man, his life is worth more than gold. When the wicked rise up against me, they stumble and fall. Plead my case, Jehovah, it's on you that I call. They're lying in wait, open to see me stumble. Lying in wait, open to see me fall. But you are my